Hello there everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to talk about the BBC and Doctor Who. So obviously the BBC bosses have responded to concerns about Doctor Who's future, assuring fans that the show will keep going, with or without Disney. Obviously, there has been uncertainty in recent months about whether the science fiction show will continue, with even showrunner Russell T Davis admitting that he doesn't know what's happening yet. While the series itself has been produced under a partnership between the BBC and Disney during the Ncuti Gatwa's run, the BBC Chief Content Officer Kate Phillips has confirmed that the show will live on even if the US company pulls out. Obviously, she quoted, "Rest assured, Doctor Who is going nowhere," she said, via Deadline. Disney has been a great partnership and it continues, obviously, with the war between the land and the sea next year. But going forward, with or without Disney, Doctor Who will still be on the BBC. The TARDIS is going nowhere. BBC Director of Scripted, Lindsay Salt added that the broadcaster is committed to the show. Obviously, which is very, very, very good news. One person, obviously, best streaming service, obviously related. I guess one person who has implored the BBC to continue the series is Ryan Clark, who appeared as himself during a Eurovision themed episode earlier this year. Save Doctor Who. Make sure it comes back. Because it's a British institution. He said at the same festival. We can't not have Doctor Who. Obviously, he has been the biggest fan of Doctor Who personally since the reboot back in 2005. Obviously, with Christopher Eccleston, and he said that he loved every single episode. If the show does come back, obviously Billie Piper, who previously played companion Rose Tyler, and is obviously now seen in the Wednesday season 2 episodes, obviously will seemingly take on the next incarnation, on the next version of the character. Obviously of the Doctor, after Gatwa unexpectedly regenerated into her at the end of his run, obviously with the Reality War episode, which is quite sad. Obviously, I really loved Ncuti Gatwa's run. I think it was wonderful. If we wouldn't have would have gotten another season, like the third season for him, or a fourth season even, I think that would be so damn good. But obviously, he left the role, and I understand why, because obviously he's he's a sort out of character, actor. But people want him for different roles, obviously. I think he plays a character in the brand new film starring Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch called The Roses. Obviously, there he plays a character, so he's very sought after, right? People want him to be in shows and series and films and stuff like that. Obviously, I checked my sources here, and we also have the same thing. Radio Times also says the same thing. Obviously, Kate Phillips, Chief Content Officer at BBC, has spoken candidly on Doctor Who's future, saying the series will remain on the BBC with or without Disney. Obviously, Radio Times obviously also said, any Whovians out there, rest assured, Doctor Who is going nowhere. So Disney has been a great partnership, and obviously the war between the land and the sea comes up next year. But that's the quiet part, I guess. The most interesting part, because Russell T Davis, the showrunner, said that the series was going to obviously release this year even, but it was delayed, which is quite weird, because maybe obviously BBC and Disney are taking steps and committing for a season 3, and obviously maybe if they release the war between the land and the sea, they will have news about obviously the future of Doctor Who. But obviously it's been delayed, so maybe they're having conversations without Russell T Davis. Russell T Davis doesn't know anything, which is quite weird, because he's the showrunner obviously, and he makes the episodes and he writes the episodes and the storylines. So yeah, whatever. Alright, meanwhile, BBC Studio CEO Tom Fussell has said that the BBC remains really committed to Doctor Who. He told Deadline earlier this year, fans love the Doctor Who brand. It's been that way since before I was in short trousers. He added that the team are really committed to Doctor Who and are continuing to look at ways in which we can bring the show to fans. Doctor Who is available to stream on BBC iPlayer. Obviously, dive into our Doctor Who story gear. Wait, this is just for the, I guess, the RadioTimes.com. So there we go. Obviously, let's see here. I guess that's interesting. This article by the Radio Times was written by Louise Griffin. Louise is like a science fiction and fantasy editor for Radio Times, covering everything from Doctor Who, Star Wars, and Marvel to House of the Dragon and Good Omens. Obviously, she previously worked at Metro as a senior entertainment reporter and as a degree in English literature. That's interesting. Okay. Fun fact, I suppose. Obviously, we have Screen Rant, which I frequently also visit. So, obviously, the BBC has finally confirmed Doctor Who's fate after season 15 surprise regeneration cliffhanger. Doctor Who's future has been uncertain since the last season. Obviously ended in May this year. The last two outings, which started shooting at was the 15th Doctor, were produced as part of the groundbreaking partnership between the BBC and Disney. While there is still no word on whether Disney intends to continue this collaboration, the BBC has confirmed, obviously, that the broadcaster has every intention of moving forward to Doctor Who, with or without Disney's involvement. As reportedly by RadioTimes.com, the BBC's chief content officer Kate Phillips reassured fans at the Edinburgh TV Festival that the show would return. That's really interesting, and hopefully I pronounce Edinburgh good enough for English viewers, because I heard there were a lot of complaints, obviously, on the way you pronounce, obviously, that word, or I guess the name of the city. So there we go. Hopefully I pulled it off, guys. Let me know down in the comment section below if I did so. And obviously, while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe. Obviously, if the BBC is forced to produce Doctor Who without Disney going forward, it remains to be seen how the series' worldwide distribution will be handled. Disney Plus is an obviously very popular platform with a global reach. Before and even now, the franchise's different eras have been scattered across various streaming services and broadcasters. Obviously, it's been, or Doctor Who has been on like HBO Max before the Disney deal, and on Netflix, and I think it was gone, or Doctor Who was gone, I think, around 2016 from Netflix. So they pulled that away, and obviously it's now seen on the BBC iPlayer app in Great Britain, which is obviously not in my territory, but guys. Classic Who is still available on BritBox, obviously, but only in certain territories. New Who has previously been available on HBO Max, but it has since been taken down. Where will the show end up next, if not with Disney? Then, of course, there's also the question of the budget. The last seasons, as well as the preceding 60th anniversary specials with David Tennant and obviously Catherine Tate, had a bigger, more cinematic feel. Obviously, while reporters in 2023 speculated that episodes would cost roughly 10 million each. Holy shit. That's insane, but I get it. Davis quickly debunked those numbers, stating that the show had a handsome budget instead, obviously via RadioTimes.com. It's impossible to say how the show will handle Disney's potential withdrawal, however. Our take on Doctor Who's future, obviously said by Screen Rant. The BBC pronouncement is undoubtedly reassuring, especially given the way season 15 or season 2, as the BBC and Disney have taken to calling it, ended with a massive surprise twist. While saying goodbye to Ncuti Gat was wonderful, energetic, and empathic, 15th Doctor was bittersweet. Former companion Billie Piper's appearance as a potential 16th Doctor threw everything into a tailspin. Obviously, if Disney declines to renew their deal, the biggest blow to the franchise will be the potential loss of Disney's distribution platform. In an ideal world, now that New Who has been removed from HBO Max, all episodes of the first rebooted series and the Disney era would be available together on the platform for worldwide audiences, just as UK audiences can access everything on BBC iPlayer. In terms of production value, there's a small part of that misses Doctor Who's low budget shenanigans. They were a part of that, obviously, of what gave the show the iconic Doctor Who feel, which has been missing from those larger-than-life episodes. Hopefully, the BBC will find a way to move forward with Doctor Who season 16, or maybe future specials starring Billie Piper, providing some much-needed answers for Whovians everywhere. So yes, I totally get it, because I think Screen Rant here tells something very interesting. Doctor Who always had some kind of like low-budget feel. I'm not quite sure. It's obviously because the show, I guess, kinda not really ended. It never ends. Doctor Who will never end, obviously. But because there was a brand new, I would say, storyline created thanks to the 60th anniversary specials starring David Tennant. Obviously, you can't really say that obviously the Jodie Whittaker era and the 60th anniversary specials are kind of the same in like tone. Obviously, every single era of Doctor Who is special. Obviously, the 1960s Doctor is different from the 1980s Doctor, and the 1980s Doctor Who is different than the one from 2005. Obviously, that's great because every single era you have a different kind of like feel to it, and that's really great. Because with Christopher Eccleston, you had this new vibe, I guess, new kind of like style to the episodes. Each episode was around 40-50 minutes long, and obviously compared to the 90s Doctor Who, so the one that ran for almost 30 years back in the previous century. That's weird to say, but anyway, obviously those episodes consisted of like 3, 4, 5 parts even. And now obviously we have the Doctor Who deal with Disney, and those episodes are longer, true, and we have less episodes in a season, that's also true, but the feeling like it's bigger, it's bolder, and it's kind of like it's a big science fiction show now, which is great. And I just hope that Disney doesn't pull off with the deal, because now obviously we have this brand new, I guess, quality Doctor Who. Often, that's kind of the thing, because we sometimes have great episodes. Obviously, these 2 seasons have been a hit or miss for me. I really liked some episodes. I love Doctor Who, so obviously I'm very mild on it. But there were episodes that I thought, well, that's weird, because obviously now in the reality war, I guess, a lot of reshoots were done, and that's because Ncuti Gatwa left the role, and I thought that was kind of weird. I was not expecting that, obviously. A bit of dialogue was really misplaced, I would say, throughout the season of season 2. Like, you could have made the season so much better if you chose different parts of dialogue or different things to say. Obviously, I know that Russell T Davies is very happy with his work always, and I guess that's kind of the thing, because now it's the second time Russell T Davies helms Doctor Who. But might it be the last time? I'm not quite sure. I think new ideas can be introduced instead of using old ones. Russell T Davies has probably a lot of ideas, and I think Stephen Moffat and Russell T Davies are great guys. But I think Doctor Who needs some more creatives, more new persons to helm the series moving forward. Obviously, that's totally up to the BBC to decide, obviously. But I think, obviously, we just need to wait and see for the future episodes. But maybe it's because I haven't seen Doctor Who in 2 months, and maybe I've become, a bit, I would say, critical towards it. I just hope that the upcoming future episodes will be great, and I'm going to get that Doctor Who vibe back again. But now it's just waiting, and I really don't like waiting, obviously, for my favorite show. I just want news. This was great news because Doctor Who is going nowhere, but we still don't have an episode or like a airtime or a release date for The War Between the Land and the Sea. Nor do we have any news on Billie Piper as the 16th Doctor. So I guess the sentence spoken was, Doctor Who will continue with or without Disney. But when, how, and why, I'm not quite sure. We just need to wait and see. I'm really excited for the future, but I'm also very critical towards it. I just don't want this Doctor Who to be a mess again, because obviously I want Billie Piper to have a great run, although she is like kind of nostalgia bait, and that's also a big thing, right? I just hope whatever we will get in the future, obviously including The War Between the Land and the Sea, it'll be great. And I just hope we'll get, great Doctor Who stories and episodes, because it's my favorite show and I really love talking about my favorite show. But sometimes those things, can get in my, I guess, kind of cinephile way. I love watching films, right? And I love talking about films and analyzing films. But I just like the production side of Doctor Who right now is a big mess. A lot of people don't really know what's happening, and that's that's I'm kind of afraid of, like, maybe a cancellation. Obviously, cancellation will not happen, like they said, but we just don't know what's happening right now. So BBC and Disney are just keep it quiet, and that's very very terrifying. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say here. And obviously, let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of this video. Obviously, let me know your thoughts, reactions, and theories also down in the comment section below, and I will check you later. Goodbye, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you later. Goodbye, everyone. Or should I say, Alonzi, doctor, I let you go. Goodbye.
I can. I will. I do.